Good morning. It's coming up to 7 o'clock. Today's briefing is as follows. I'm here in Penzance. I'm going to do the night tick here, backwards to Plymouth. That's 60 miles, 61.4 to be exact. The wind is due to be variable. The Met Office says 3 to 5 southwesterly. That'd be great. That'd be great. Predict wind says nothing, no wind. 5 knots northerly. Meteo Consult says something different again. But the strongest wind and most favourable is the Met Office, which is 3 to 5 southwesterly. So I'm going with that one. I'm greeted this morning by probably one of the most terrifying things that a sailor can be greeted by, and that's pea soup. Look, that's Penzance Quay there, the harbour wall. You cannot see around in front of your face. Well, you can. I don't want to exaggerate, but well, you can't see. There's a marker over there for the gear, a bunch of rocks called the gear, and that isn't very far away at all. I bet it's not 500 metres away. Can't see it. So here's the deal. I have to be home tonight, back on the mooring. I have to be. Because tomorrow morning I have to take care of my daughter because her mother is going to work. So I have to go. There's no real way around that. So I'm going. I'm going to have the radio on and have the AIS looking out. But what I'll have to do, because I don't have a visual display, moving map with AIS targets on it. What I'm going to have to do is plot their positions and courses on the chart and keep an eye on them. The thing is that small yachts may not have it, but they aren't really so much of a problem. Fishing boats, they've got to have it, and they can be a problem. And they come up on AIS anyway. They tend to come up with FV, whatever, fishing vessel. So easy to identify. It's just another one of those days where the AIS receiver on my radio is going to be invaluable. I'm so glad I got that. Anyway, I'm going to get underway and I'll do a little update. Oh my God, look at it. It's horrible. There's a Scilly there, just the top of the Scilly. I don't know if you can even see it poking out above the harbour wall. Didn't need this. So it's neap tides. I've planned my passage around the Lizard to be at around slack high water neaps. In these conditions, if it's still like this anyway, that should be absolutely fine. I can't plan a fair tide all the way there, obviously, because it's a 12-hour, well, more than that trip. So it's going to be against me at some point. I hope I can sail. We'll see. But it's going to be a long day. Nothing to see here. Move along. Nearly 11 o'clock and all is well. Just before the Lizard. Cornish coastline in the mist. This is getting a lot better now. So it went to about 2 miles, probably about that now actually, about 2 miles, maybe 3. I'll be passing quite close. Still not in the real shallow stuff. But once again, I've timed it for slack high water, neaps. There's very little wind. Should be okay. We'll find out. One of these days I'll get it wrong again. I've been around there with it before and it's been horrendous. And we'll see, but I think that's going to be okay. So we're head to wind at the moment, but I've got a feeling, I hope anyway, that when we go round the Lizard there, we'll be able to pay off enough to sail. That would really help. And the forecast says, I mean, we're directly head to wind, so you can see we're more than 45 degrees off there, so we should be alright. The forecast says west or southwesterly 3 to 5. Well, it's either less than 5 knots, so it looks like we're going into wind, or it's easterly at the moment. I give up. And see what it does when we get out in. At least, you know, let's count our blessings. At least the sea state is not horrendous. It's quite a comfortable ride. I just calibrated the compass on my autopilot. I was having all kinds of issues. There it is. Yeah. And it's settled down beautifully now. I probably should have calibrated that before the trip. I've never calibrated it. And now it's just sitting there doing almost nothing and keeping the boat on course. So, worth it. Alright. You know, I mean, I love my little engine, but it's a noisy bastard day when you have to run that all the time. It's no fun at all. Could be worse. It was raining earlier, it's not raining now. Visibility is improving, that's great. We might be able to sail later. We're doing 5 knots average. It's alright, it's alright. Well, that's another relatively uneventful trip around the lizard. It wasn't as flat as the last time I came round, but it isn't quite slack water yet. It was alright though. There's the lizard over there. There's the lighthouse for the lizard there, just flashing now. There it is. We're just heading out into normal water again. I passed, you'll be able to see this or not. I passed 0.6 miles from the actual headland there. It was alright. No problem. The last leg, and I'm hoping, because we're almost on a heading to be able to sail now. So I'm hoping that when we come around a little bit more, I'll get the sails out. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Quick update then. I'm sitting on the bows because I'm sick of the engine noise. As you can see, the visibility has improved markedly. The sun's come out, it's got noticeably hotter. You know, it's 5 in the afternoon and I'm actually uncomfortably warm now. I'm fishing, I've caught nothing yet, but who knows. About 3 hours to go. There it is. Not sure that Krina had such a magical time this year at the Scilly, so at least she isn't saying she did. But let's be honest. She's been camping on the beach with her dad. She's been sailing for miles and miles. We've had picnics every day. We've cycled around Tresco. You know, she's saying she isn't loving it. Maybe she's a bit spoiled. Maybe I need to smack her bottom a little bit more. Discipline, that's what she needs. Harsh discipline. And she'll start appreciating these things. And I think this year I made a mistake. We set off from Corsan and I thought, yeah, that'll work. It did last year. Actually, that was 3 days of sailing before we actually arrived at the Scilly Isles. She was horribly sick on the first day. On the second day she wasn't great, but she was better. It was a bad start to a holiday, a bad start. I think what I should have done is picked her up from her mother in Penzance. I should have done the sail from Plymouth to Penzance on my own in 1 day, easy. Picked Krina up there and then gone to the Scillies the next day, so she's only got 1 day sailing, hasn't she? That would have worked better, I think. Maybe, you know, who knows. That's what I did on the way back, if you're wondering where she is. Her mother picked her up in Penzance, and now I'm sailing home alone, or motoring home alone. Also, I think 3 weeks is a long time for her to be away from her mother, so perhaps next year I'll shorten it a bit and just pick her up from Penzance and drop her off in Penzance. I think that'd be a bit better for her. Yeah. Overall though, it's a winner. And that's it. Now it's back to the real world. I've got to go to work.